My boss fired me because I sat down for 15 minutes. I work at an ice cream shop that typically doesn't get much business during the winter, so our shifts are cut short, and my boss has a rule that if you don't work 6 hours or more, you don't get a break. So one day I came in for a 3-hour shift. It was pretty slow as expected, so I just cleaned the whole time. I also hadn't eaten all day. So my girlfriend brought me a sandwich, so I decided since there were no customers, I would sit down and eat my sandwich. I had also finished all my tasks for the day, and I did a good amount of cleaning, and I had nothing else to do. I had only sat down for 15 minutes, and then got back up to complete a Grubhub order. My boss pulls up and sees me sitting down through the store windows. However, when he walked in, I was already doing the Grubhub order. At first, he was talking with his friends, and I was just doing my job, scooping ice cream, chopping freezers, and taking customers. I did, however, inform him that we don't have chargers for our whipped cream containers, and he asked me why I didn't tell him before he got here, and I told him that I texted our manager. I get paid around $15 an hour to do basic employee tasks. My manager, on the other hand, gets paid way more than us because he takes care of tasks, like keeping track of inventory, making schedules, sending our hours to the boss, and other basic employee tasks. He gave me a little bit of a passive-aggressive response, and he asked me if we needed anything else. I said yeah, and told him we needed Reese's peanut butter cups, and he got a little more frustrated with me. However, it all went downhill when this lady walked in and asked for a sundae with whipped cream. I explained to her that we didn't have any whipped cream, but I could offer her an extra scoop on top of her ice cream. My boss then begins to look for some chargers under the fridge. I need to discover roaches and a soda cap. He proceeded to ask me if this was my soda cap. I told him it wasn't, however, he didn't believe me, and he said, yeah, right. I didn't understand why he was blaming me for everything, but he began to sweep the floor and got even madder at me, telling me that he may not even be able to pay me in time if he had to keep doing my job for me. Tell him anything, however. At the moment, I was thinking I had done all the tasks that the manager left for me, and I already cleaned countertops and freezers. My boss isn't the type to spend money if he doesn't need to, but our store has had flies, rats, and roaches for months now, and he hasn't done anything about it. He says he's going to have to get an exterminator because we can't do our job, but I don't know how he wants to get rid of roaches with Windex and a rag. When I came in for my last shift, my manager explained that our boss had gotten mad about the incident and was looking to fire me, but he was mostly upset because I had been sitting down when he got there, as he explained to the manager. Our managers are very chill guy, so he tried to vouch for me, but it was honestly out of his control, and the boss had already made up his mind. He directly told me I was fired, but the following week, I got 0 hours and didn't get paid for the week. As a normal person has bothered me as I hated that job, but I have to work to help my mom with bills and other expenses, so this affected my life, but it didn't seem to bother my boss in the slightest. My manager told me he didn't know if I was fired fully, but I was never going to return to that job again because of that lack of respect that my boss has for the workers. I also never went off on my boss because my brother also works at the same shop, and I fear that he would get upset with my brother and fire him as well. Thanks for tuning in to today's story. I'd love to hear what you thought about it in the comments below. And if you want more stories like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one.